You can't win a job based on it being competitive because you've got to put your 2 layers or your 3 layers of your drywall up. Then you now got to put your 2 or 3 layers of drywall up with a fibre cement sheet across it, okay, and create those hybrid systems. And everybody's doing exactly the same. So you can't profit from a job, can you?
Yeah.
Unless you cut your margins down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or take a shortcut.
Exactly. So the more shortcuts, the more margins you take, but then who carries the buck when it fails?
Yeah.
You're running backwards and forwards as a drywall company, fixing up because the builder or the developer, whoever awarded you the contract, now makes you responsible for their mistakes of going the cheaper alternative product way, don't they?
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
So eventually your profit runs out.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, I wonder why these poor subcontractors are going broke. Well, it's not fair on the subcontractors to go broke in the first place, okay, because they're pitching for a job. But when you come to materials like this, you can go from, I'd say 9 out of 10 drywall wall systems, exterior and interior and ceiling to floor systems, 9 out of 10 will no longer do 2 or 3 layers of drywall, will only do 1 layer Rescom.
Yeah.
So do the sums. Now I've always said to drywall guys and that around the world for 15 years in January, we're expensive but we're free.
Yeah.
And they go, but that doesn't make sense. And they go, well, okay, we've got to learn to add up. Okay, so it's not difficult when you look at it like that. I'm a pretty simple guy. I'm just a country boy, okay?
Do you want to introduce yourself and what the product is?
Yeah, well, I'm Steve Maxkil. I'm the founder of Rescom Building Products, or originally Magnesium Oxide Board Corporation. Founded 15 years ago when I was introduced to a piece of magnesium board. And from that stage, then it went from thinking it was easy to put a piece of board on a wall or a ceiling or, you know, protection of columns and beams, to realising it wasn't that easy. Yeah, because if I'd actually known, I would have went and drove a garbage truck opposed to trying to take a product in the building industry. Yeah. But I'm from a build construction background myself. So I've had my own real estate firms, my own development company. I worked for Overland Leads for some time up at Twin Waters. So I know the build construction industry very, very well from a hands-on point of view. Yeah. So I'm just a little guy having a go. So I've taken this product when I first got it, and there's rubbish lying around here everywhere. The first lot of this magnesium board that was introduced to me by a guy in Darwin by the name of John Robinson, and using it in hotels and resorts in the Darwin Airport Detention Centre and so forth. The first lot I got was just, it'd shatter and break. So you and I we couldn't install it. Yeah. You know, so my first order of structural, what we called, I was getting product OME'd for me then, okay? So what I mean by that is I was buying something from a factory and had no input to it, so I was just branding it, okay? So I was reliant on that product and what I was told by that manufacturer, which was one of the only 2 back then that you could find actually had legitimate factual data to support the product, okay? The first one come in with structural flooring from a friend of mine's project up on the Sunshine Coast for his townhouses. Well, that 20 mil flooring shattered. It went to the Caloundra garbage tip, a whole 20-foot container of it. Because I couldn't sell it to him for the fact is, because I always say as well, it's only cheap until it fails. Now imagine putting the walls on top of the flooring and then finding out that you're going to have structural issues.
Done that.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
With that code.
Yeah, so you can't do it. So that was my first alarm bell and my baptism of fire. So being just a guy having a go, and this was in GFC, okay, the global financial crisis, so money was going that way, not going this way. Okay? So every dollar counted. So okay, rightio, start thinking about it, ask the question. So I found out why it happened. We were playing with a company down here in Brisbane called Commercial Facades Australia, and with some of the guys in there, Richard Lee and Simon Day, and we were working with 6 and 8 mil magnesium board, and it was shattering. You and I couldn't pick it up, okay? Yeah. And it was actually shattering. So you sort of go, hang on, more alarm bells. Now I'm a 3-strike guy. 3rd strike, you don't get to play with me, you don't get to talk to me, you don't get, and I'm the same with the product. Yeah. So I stopped, and I realised everything about this so-called material wasn't what we were told. There was no MSDSs. There was no storage and handling documents when I started. There was no installation manuals when I started. I was the first code marked high, full, extensive materials range of products in Australia and New Zealand in the world. And that's a big statement. James Hardy had some code marks, one for New Zealand and one for Australia. Because they considered magnesium board an alternative in Australia, I actually had to go all the way through the process and get full code mark and full approval. And I had a lot of questions. That's another journey and another video for you. Whole lot of questions to ask. And today, it's a different world. I walked away from code mark in 2018, okay? Because it's a money-making machine, and it actually really has nothing to do with the building compliance industry, as far as I'm concerned, through proof of what I've been through, okay? So you can't keep telling me that systems in a red book or a plasterboard company's book, when it says opinion, and I know that for a fact they don't perform in build construction as per the requirements of the non-combustible A1 construction code requirements, that they're compliant. Yet they're allowed to go through the system as compliance. So that was sort of, that's a political argument. Okay? So let's not worry about that one at the moment. Let's worry about making the drywall industry more money. Let's put it this way. If you can go next door and buy 13mm plasterboard for $11 a square metre, okay? I don't know if it's cost more or less now, but it used to be that sort of money. So let's do a very easy sum. If 3 layers of plasterboard, drywall, whatever we want to call, need to go on a wall, it's 3 times 11, isn't it? So it's $33 a square metre, not $11 a square metre. So when the estimator's doing the pricing and you're going to win a job against the competitor, the next guy, now I don't know if you want to let everybody know this, but the fact is that they're spending $33 a square metre. Now if we look at a 120mm wall system, which is the easiest one to discuss, is that 3 layers of fire-rated plasterboard, both sides of the wall system, with insulation, a proper earth, should be a rock wall insulation in the cavity, not an earth wall. And that's another video, okay, which I can share with you the results on that as well. So when we look at that, we look $33 a square metre, $33 a square metre. Now we can't get away from that, can we? Okay, so let's look at our alternative. Okay, so on here I smashed and broke a little bit of stuff up, which was a bit of fun. Had some people here from the islands and they wanted to know how did plasterboard go compared to Rescom board go, because this has evolved now over 15 years. We can pick it up, it doesn't break, it doesn't shatter. It's, you know, it's fully engineered now. It's not the stuff that used to be. So that was my...
We really like working with it. We'd never seen it before, this job, and we really like it.
No, it's good to hear, because I don't get to spend much time with guys like you. You know, I'm stuck in an office doing technical stuff.
And we don't get to spend much time with guys like you.
It's good fun. So what we did is basically then is, this is a piece of 12, sorry, that's a piece of 10mm. This is a piece of 12mm, okay? So we'll put that down because we're talking 120 minutes. We just said 3 layers of fire-rated plasterboard, didn't we? Okay. Is 120 minutes. It's an opinion in a book, it's 120 minutes. That's not about its integrity. First off, fire-rated plasterboard is not an A1 or Group 1 non-combustible material. It's at best a Group 2. Volume 1 says you've got to use equal elements and components to each other. So if it's a non-combustible material, you shouldn't be using a semi-non-combustible material, should you? Okay. So notwithstanding that side, we'll go, okay, 3 layers, which I do have a little thing down the back down there I could show you visually. That is 120 minutes integrity on its own, 1 layer. Now, say that was $27.50 a square metre. That's a lot more expensive than $11 a square metre, isn't it?
Not when you do the 3 layers, though.
That's right.
And labour time as well.
Labour? Labour's expensive these days. And getting more expensive. You know, we can't...
And the space saving.
Oh, that's where it's free. Remember what I was saying? It's only, well, we're expensive, but we're free. And when the light bulb comes on, you go, wow. So you go to your customer, hey, you want to build this building? Okay. So I used to draw this thing on the wall. What goes up has to come down. Now that was relating to the foundations in the ground.
Yeah.
So weight loadings on that building down through the building is your foundation cost. So the most expensive part of starting a building is in the ground.
Yeah.
This is one of the cheapest parts of building a building.
Yeah.
Is putting the drywall up and putting the shirt on the building. You're doing all the hard work and making it look good.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's actually one of the most important things that you're doing, but it's actually also one of the cheapest things that you're doing.
Yeah.
But the most important. So you should be getting paid for that too.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're now going to get more net floor area in the finished product on a building that weighs less. So therefore its engineering cost should be less.
Yeah.
I can already hear people watching this video with alarm bells going, hang on here, the building's weighing less. The walls are now not as big as what they are. I'm going to have some structural issues. Okay? No. There's some things I can't divulge right now. You know our company's merging with another company.
Yeah.
We've been in huge testing together. And this is over the last 3 weeks from today, so the previous 3 weeks, where we know today under the lightweight steel construction that none of the steel construction companies in Australia today that we're aware of meet with the new NCC 2022 building code for structural performance, robust performance, earthquake performance for the new NCC 2022.
Yeah.
If I told you the exciting news is coming, we've tested A system, then we've tested B system, which is one of the largest competitor systems in Australia that failed dismally. A system worked very, very well. And C system they tested with Rescom on there, and they took the building out to over the 3% movement, so over 90 millimetres moving every direction with no damage.
Really?
So no structural issues because it's also fibre reinforced, as you know, working with it. Okay, your screw pull-outs.
Yeah.
How good are they?
Yeah.
Okay, so you use the right screws. You can hang the old kids from the screws.
Yeah.
So it's actually not a normal drywall, and it's the only ISO 8336 certified, which is the fibre cement sheet, flat sheet certification standards worldwide. This is the only magnesia cement that's ISO 8336 certified in the world. So it's A1 non-combustible, structural, impact resistant, throw it in the buckets of water like I did with the island guys here.
Yeah.
Give it a bit of a hard time.
Yeah.
And
it can be used anywhere, outside, anything. Yeah.
Outside and inside, what we've done over the years, let's have a little walk through here, okay?